As a lot of you out there know, I always read about serial killers for years. And I became interested in my next guest when I read this story about, well, he's called The Bachelor Butcher. And he has, you know, he's charged with killing people, and the trial is just beginning. And you were his former neighbor and his best friend, actually.
Yes, well, that's right. I was more than a neighbor. I was the best friend of Dwayne. Yes. It's first of all, you have to understand the word alleged should be used here. Because
I thought I said alleged.
I'm sorry, because I'm just sensitive to that because he's a friend, and the trial has not begun.
Right.
He's been accused
But he has been charged.
He's been charged,
right.
Yes.
With what, the murders of 50 women?
Well, now, that all started by hearsay. It's 7 women. There's not any evidence against Dwayne. He happened to have dated or lived with 7 women who were murdered. Okay? Look, I know 7 women who have not been murdered. Does that make me not a murderer? That's right. I'm not, but did you see what I'm saying? The only reason they said he killed 50 women was he called his sister one night. Dwayne called his sister, and he said, "Sis, I killed 50 women," hung up the phone. Now, she said a chill went up her spine. She called me, she told me, and a chill went up my spine, too. But men like to brag about the things they do. So I didn't put that much on it. I didn't think it was that important, you know.
Well, wouldn't you call that some sort of a confession?
No, I wouldn't. Look, I had a husband come home tell me he caught a 30-pound muskie. Do you believe it? I don't. There's no such thing. I said, there is no 30-pound muskie in that. Like, that's a man. That's a man bragging about something, making it big. Oh, I did this. I caught a 30-pound muskie. Oh, I killed 50 women. Ooh, I don't believe it.
So you totally you believe that he's innocent?
I believe that I am not God. I'm not a judge and jury. And I'm not, I know him. Dwayne, you had to know Dwayne. He had baby blues you could swim in. This is a man who combed his hair in the morning. You know, he had nails clean. He had a shirt tucked in. He had a belt buckle that matched his boots. He had a turquoise ring.
So what is that?
Well,
Are you saying that that's proof that he's not a murderer? I mean,
I'm saying that he had self-respect. He respected himself.
Well, Ted
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, Ted Bundy, they were always talking about how Ted Bundy looked good, too. They were talking about how handsome he was.
Well, he was.
Okay.
Now that's, what, you're going to make that a strike against him? He's got so many strikes against him, at least give the man that he was good looking. All right, that's all he had.
I thought, you know, he was an attractive man, Ted Bundy, but he killed, like, at least, he also killed, well, I should, alleged, not alleged about Ted. He did kill 50 or more women.
And he paid for it. He
was
paid
put
his
to death.
debt to society.
That's right. Now, the place you live in, do they have the death penalty?
Yes, they do. I'm from West Virginia. We do.
A lot of people here are total. Are you a pro or against the death penalty?
I'm not about to discuss whether I'm a pro. I'm just kidding. But no.
I mean, if your friend, is he facing the death penalty is what I meant.
He is going to face it. And if he does, if he did it, then he should pay for his crime.
I just really have to stop here before we're going to go to the audience and they're going to ask questions too. But I have to ask you. It's just a little bit weird that this guy, your friend, is like accused of murdering all these women, and your first husband, that he was a murderer too.
No, he was not a murderer. He was convicted of voluntary manslaughter. And we all make mistakes. We all make mistakes, and we all have moments in our lives we wish we could take back. There's not a person here that can't say, I don't have any demons.
Okay, so voluntary manslaughter means that he is a murderer. He just didn't think about it before he did it. Right?
That's true. And what man does? He didn't think about it. Oh, does that surprise you? Now, that was Troy, and Troy, I met Troy when he was in prison. I gave him a chance. Yeah. You know? But I didn't go there to meet Troy. I went there to see my boyfriend. I happened to meet Troy when I was visiting him.
Do you know any people who are not murderers? Have you ever been out? I mean, what kind of men are you attracting to yourself? Think about it. Think about it. Be conscious. What kind of men are you?
I never look for a man. I never looked for a man. I was sitting, when the first time I really started talking to Dwayne, I was sitting on a bar stool. I wasn't looking to meet no man.
Okay, but the men that you're hooking up with all have problems about, like, murdering the women. I mean,
I do. I admit that I have been with men that have a problem. I live with a man, but I cut it off because I said I can't live in a house with a man who's going to pull a weapon on me. I can't do it. And 2 years later, I told him to leave. I did. I said, I've given you your chance. Now you have to leave.
because this guy pulled a knife on you when you're cooking, and he's pulling knives on you in the kitchen. And
that's right. And I said, you know, what woman can cook a meal when you've got to worry about turning your back?
I don't know. I'm going to go to the audience. I'm sure our audience has questions for our guest, Crystal Lynn Pickett. Does anybody have a question? Let me come down there and see.
I'll answer it.
I mean, I think this woman is in some kind of deep denial and needs some kind of help personally. You know, when every man you know is a murderer, I think there's something.
I'm not in denial.
Do you have a question? Yes. Yes, ma'am.
I want to know what you...
Stand up, please.
I want to know what you were cooking him when he had that knife to you.
That's a good question. It's hard to remember what you're cooking when you're worried about that sort of thing. But probably a casserole.
Didn't you have a friend who was also murdered while she was cooking, though?
Yes.
In your town?
Yes, she was. And that was a tragedy. It really was. Because, as I understand, it was a special meal she was, you know, cooking up. But he didn't
Anybody
appreciate
else have a question? Yeah. Come on down.
OJ's got an ad for a live-in nanny. Are you interested?
No. I don't do windows. No. Not me.
Anybody else? Question? Yes. Over here. Yes.
Where are the hottest guys in prison? What prison?
Well, now, I live in Hickok, which is unincorporated. It's next to Harper's Ferry. And this wasn't a big, huge place. It's a small penitentiary where they send people who have committed crimes, but they're not like, you know, like a serial killer will go to a bigger place. I met Troy in a rather small place. But I kind of sit here and say that this is how I meet men. I think it's been misunderstood. You don't go to a prison to meet men. You meet them before they go there.
I have time for one more question, I think. Why don't you go up here to the mic? Got a question? Well, I guess I could get up there. I'll hold it, honey.
Could you tell me, how many love affairs did you have with that murderer?
Well, listen, let me say something. I hate murder. I hate it. I told Troy 1,000,000 times, enjoy your night out, but don't kill. And that's the first thing I'd say. You know, if you're going to kill something, why don't you kill a rabbit? I can make rabbit stew. That's something we can do together as a couple. But I'm not going to sit here and say how many. I don't know.
Yes. Do you have a question?
Yeah, Roseanne, you said they were serial killers, right?
Right.
Well, they say, you know, some people say I'm cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, but I ain't never killed nobody for no box of cereal, honey.
No, a serial killer means they do it over and over and over and over. That's all right, honey. That's all right. Anyway, I guess that's all we have time for today. Crystal, I hope you'll come back and give us some kind of update when this whole thing goes to trial. I mean, really, but honey, you need some kind of therapy for real. Just so tired of seeing women who make the same mistakes over and over and over, and they never snap out of it. Now, you have a problem, seriously. You need to go home and think about being without a man, just for a while. Just be without any man, please.
I tried. I just try my best. I'm not looking to meet anybody right now. I'm not with anybody, but I'm not saying that because I'm on TV and I want men to write me or nothing like that. I'm not with anybody right now.
Well, I think that'd be good for you. Just, you know, try to get your own self together, and, you know, maybe a good man will come your way after a while.
That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, because maybe you'll be able to get your kids back. We'll be right back. we had a great time. We had a great show, and that's it. Before we go, though, I do want to hold this up and tell the women out there, please be careful who you're dating. And I hope today's show was entertaining as well as informative, ladies. My next guest made her first appearance on my show to talk about how she is always attracted to killers. Here she is talking about her relationship with the murderous Troy.
I hate murder. I hate it. I told Troy 1,000,000 times, enjoy your night out, but don't kill. And that's the first thing I'd say. You know, if you're going to kill something, why don't you kill a rabbit? I can make rabbit stew. That's something we can do together as a couple.
Do you know any people who are not murderers? Have you ever been out? I mean, what kind of men are you attracting to yourself? Think about it. Think about it. What makes a woman fall in love with a killer? Well, let's find out. Please welcome back to our show, Crystal Lynn Pickett.
Thank you.
Well, I'm glad to see you back.
Oh, thank you. I'm so glad to be back.
How is everything? Everything going good?
Everything's going as it always does, you know. Life just goes on.
Well, let me just jump right in there. Why do you involve yourself with violent men?
I don't intend to. You know, I'm a positive kind of person. I don't look at a man's bad side. I try to look and uncover his good side. And every woman wants to uncover a good side of a man.
That's true.
That's true. We want to change a man. You know, we want to make him better. You know, some women want to say, oh, since he knew me, you know, he stopped smoking. Or, you know, he stopped drinking for me. I want to say he stopped killing for me. Because I feel like then I would have accomplished something with my life.
Is that the only way you feel you could feel that you accomplished something with your life, is to, like, you know, use these men for your accomplishments?
No, I don't. I don't think it's a man. It has nothing to do just with a man. I mean, if I was a lesbian type woman, I'd want to turn around a lesbian killer. You know? Because women do kill. Let's not just pin it on men. Women do kill. It's different because I know a man will snap, he'll kill, and then he's sorry for it, you know? But a woman, she doesn't. She thinks about it, you know, and then she kills, and she's not sorry. You know, she feels better. Well, that's what I can point out a specific case of a woman who killed her husband. She put him through medical school. They were together for 20 years. He left her for a younger woman. Now, that alone is a crime, but you can't do anything about it, okay?
Right.
So she said she was a perfect size 8 through that whole marriage. When she found out he was cheating, she became a 12 going into a 14. Okay, by the time she was convicted, she was a size 16. Do you think she was paying for her crime? She's paid for it, all right. But you know what? She said, I'm glad I did it. She said, I'm glad I did it. She wasn't glad she gained the weight, but she was glad she did it.
Well, that kind of reminds me of that Betty Broderick that killed, you know, she killed her husband.
It could be her.
I
I don't remember the name, but it could have been her.
Well, she's never said she was sorry. Maybe maybe you have something there that women are never sorry for their murders. But whatever happened to your best friend, Dwayne, the one that was convicted, the serial killer that was
Now,
convicted?
wait a minute, Roseanne. Don't jump on serial killer. No. Wait a minute now. Give the man a chance. You know, he has been convicted of 1 murder in the state of Florida, and he's awaiting his sentence now, okay? Many other states want to try him for crimes, but he may die with that stigma of a serial killer before he ever gets to stand all those trials. You know, so he's not he did do the 1 murder.
Well, then he's a killer.
I didn't say he wasn't a killer, but I said he just did 1. And Roseanne, he's 30 pounds overweight. Do you think he suffered enough for his crime? You know, he may have to squeeze into the electric chair. Do you think that's going to be fun for him?
I'm sorry, I'm losing my mind, but what is the correlation between murder and gaining weight? What the heck do you mean by that?
That's not what I mean. That is not, that went that way, but that's not, I'm just saying that you can tell someone like Dwayne, women loved him. They would come up to him. He was a good-looking man, okay? I'm just saying now he has no incentive, okay? He has lost all hope, and that's why he put on the weight. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that it's a terrible thing. I'm just saying that's what happened to him.
So you act like you still have feelings for the guy. If he got out of jail right now, would you date him?
Well, I don't know, because I probably wouldn't date him because he's suspected in so many murders. But I will say this, if he was sorry for his crime and had he made his peace with the Almighty, I might have a drink with him. But I wouldn't have a relationship. I wouldn't go into a relationship with him. He's not all bad. He's not all bad.
Okay, so what about your new boyfriend? Now you have a whole new boyfriend, Dean, right?
Yes, Dean.
So tell us the story with Dean.
All right. Now, first of all, it's very hard to tell. When you first meet a man, you don't know what's going on in his head. It's usually when you're 3 weeks into a relationship, and it's a deep relationship, then you find out these things. You don't know right off the bat, and that's what happened with him. I didn't know anything about him until I went to the post office, and I saw his picture on a wanted poster. And I bought the picture home. I bought the picture home. I confronted him with it. I said, "Is that you?" And he said no. He said, "It's my twin brother." Now, I had no reason to disbelieve him, you know, because he had never lied to me before. But then come Thanksgiving, I said I wanted his family members over for dinner. And he said, "Oh, they were killed in a plane crash." I said, "They were? You never mentioned it. What plane crash?" Well, he hesitated, and that's when I knew. I said, "Go. You're lying." Well, he went out. He got arrested. Turned out he had robbed several mini-marts at gunpoint. How would I know? He was a dream come true. This man liked to stay home, watch TV, never went outside. He'd go from the couch to the bed, from the bed to the couch. Dream come true.
Do you ever look at, like, the bad choices you make and wonder why you make them continually over and over and over?
No, how would I know?
I don't know. Have you ever had therapy or anything? Let me just...
I'll tell you something about therapy.
I mean,
Let
you
me
need
tell
therapy.
you. Okay, I'll tell you about therapy. I had a friend in Morgan County, West Virginia. She was depressed, so she... Thank you. Well, she went to a therapist. She was depressed over her divorce. She went to a therapist. He turned out to be a total fraud. He kidnapped her. He took her over state lines. He's serving 17 years now. You want me to make that mistake? I don't think so. And as far as, you know, as far as Dean goes, let me tell you something. I went back to Dean, you know, because I did confront him. I said, "Dean, you took something away from me. I can't go to a mini-mart now. It's too painful. I can't do it. I can't. You know what I have to do? I have to send someone in there to get my cigarettes and my beer and wait outside like a dog." And I told him, I didn't let him get away. You told me that before. Why do you let these men get...
why do you let these men walk all over you? Plus the fact that you... let me ask you a question, because I have been in therapy for so many years. I think I can go there with you, eye to eye. Tell me about, let's go to the alpha problem, okay? Tell me a little bit about your dad. What kind of a man was he?
A good man. A very good man. What are you asking me?
Well, was he a killer?
It's hard to say, you know. He wasn't... When I knew him, he was never violent because, you know, he was behind bars. So he was a peaceful man, but he was...
Your father was in jail.
Yes, he
okay.
was for many years for
What
different
was he in
things.
jail for?
Well, for the first time it was because they thought he had killed my mother. But then come 15 years later, she shows up. She wasn't even dead. So here this poor man is, you know, in the first place, I said, who did we bury?
We'll be right back. A couple people in the audience would like to ask you a question, Crystal.
Sure.
Crystal, do you ever consider maybe settling down with a bus driver or an insurance salesman? Maybe somebody that, I mean, do you ever fear for your own life?
No, but I did meet a bus driver one time, but it turned out he had stolen the bus and commandeered it and drove me 3 hours away. It's not like I haven't tried. I have tried.
Any other questions down here? We have time for one more. Yes, sir.
Yeah, Crystal, I got like 2 parking tickets. Will you date me?
No, I won't pay the tickets, but I'd go out with you, sure. You're nice looking.
No, you don't even know this guy, and you say you go out with him? Who
How
knows
would
if-
I know if I don't go to find out? Am I just going to sit here?
Listen, please, Crystal, as a woman to woman, please, just listen to me. I have a really great psychiatrist that has really helped me a lot in the last few years, and I just wonder, if I call him and ask him to, like, free, I'll pay for it, whatever, to treat you for free, would you consider seeing him?
Call him up. I'll have a drink with him. But don't pay. Let him pay. You don't pay. The man pays. You don't have to pay for it. Let him pay. Already the man has a strike against him. He's going to have you pay for me. I'll do it. I'll go out with him. But
No, it's not for a date. It's for psychiatric care.
it maybe I'll if he's safe, you know, if I know he's not going to, you know, take me off somewhere, I talk to him. It could work. Maybe he's Mr. Right. You don't know.
No, I don't think he wants to date you, but to treat you...
How do you know? You have to have a positive attitude if you're ever going to meet anybody. He might be.
Well, would you please just talk to him, perhaps,
I
and
will
then
talk to
come
him.
back and tell us about it? Because,
And I'll tell you what
you know, we all care about you. There's some kind of gaps in your synapse. And we really want to help you turn your life around, Crystal, because we do care about you. Thank you very much for being
I'd
here.
like to turn it around. Thank you.
Stick around, Crystal, because R&B heartthrob Brian McKnight performs live. Stay off of Brian.